When I sat down to think about what topic I wanted to talk about that relates to my process of photography, I kind of realized that, to me at least, the choice is very obvious. Whenever I explain what exactly it is that I do within the world of photography, everyone always asks about the thing that sticks out to them. Oh, you use sound? The more that I think about it, the more that it makes sense. I am fully certain that I am not the only person ever to look at a picture and go, hey, am I the one who's hearing shit looking at this? Okay, look, I know what it sounds like. It's not the voices. It's not the voices. But also, it isn't every day that you find somebody who works in both the medium of photography and sound. On today's episode of Deep Dive, we dive deeper into my art, looking specifically at how I approach my sound art in relation to visual imagery, what tech do I use, how do I make sounds that don't sound like total fucking ass, and how do I apply all of that to photography. Now, we can talk a little bit about what I use to make my sound. However, I've been writing this script since about what the fuck did I just... Ladies and gentlemen, you ever write something in a script and just get so fucking tired that you just literally write that you're gonna fuck off and finish the script tomorrow because that's what the fuck I've written here? I use Cakewalk as my DAW because it's free and has so many little features that it would be impossible for me to list them all. On top of coming with a few instruments and a full suite of effects, the DAW is what I like to consider modular. You can add a lot of instruments, these are called VSTs or virtual instruments, and effects, these are called plugins. I could go into depth about all of my effects and plugins, but look at this list here. I would be here for such a long time, so I'll break down the instruments that I use. There are a few categories, so let's start with... Alright, so this is, me showing you kind of my sampler. It is called Grace, and I think in order to do that, I will show you guys some of how I made the sound piece that accompanied my first project. Let's start by just breaking down some of the samples that I used. Just like, you know, a little bit of like a guitar solo type of thing. And then how I would have chopped that up. There we go. Found it. Yeah, no, and then just like I chop it up and then just like link it to parts on my keyboard. The drums all come from Persona 3, specifically the song Iwatoda Dorm, which is, I think, why I chose to replicate that dorm room layout in one of my photos. The song starts off with this, like, drum intro here. I think it's fairly explanatory what the fuck that turned into. This is another one that I did use. This is also from Zelda, called Lookout Landing. It's like a nice little, like, sparse thing. I remember doing, like, lots of this. Yeah, it sounds really bad because I haven't sat down and fixed my mistakes yet, but yeah. Like, stuff like that. I don't even think I ended up using this. No, I didn't.
So this is the sample that I ended up using as my base. It's immediately enough of that. Just remember, I had to listen to that repeatedly over and over again while working on this.
OBXD, a model of an Oberheim OBX. This synth has a rich history and you can get some wild sounds out of it still to this day if you fuck around with it enough. I would be careful though, when I said it has an extensive history, I'm talking Rush, Queen, Styx, and that's just this model, not the next model up, that expands upon what was already there, so you can make a lot of the same sounds of it. Add The Police and Van Halen to this list. These sounds are very much known. Ask the layperson to name a synth track and they will tell you. Vital. Vital? This is a wavetable synth. It does the wave things very good. Some of the best sounding synths I've used came from this synth. It's great for really spacey ambient type things. More so than OBXD, it really just lets you get in there and fuck around with the waves in a multitude of different ways. Keep in mind though that almost all synths are wave based. Shit, he's back. Now, this is the hard part to verbalize into slightly comedic word vomit on a script. Let's take a look at this picture. It looks very pretty, yes. When I look at this, I hear something light and fluffy, not a lot of low end. Something almost ephemeral in nature with the church in the background. Not a very busy sound at all, something very sparse, almost like an ambient synth melody. I'm not special. Anybody with a brain who puts in the time to learn can do what I do. Look at the information, describe it, describe every detail of it, then ask yourself, how would that sound? Then experiment, throw shit at a wall until you get the answer to your question. Even if you know nothing about music theory or what you're doing at all, it is my experience that the best way to learn is by doing it. That's how I got to where I am. When I started, I knew nothing, but I figured out all these patterns after just hours of sitting down at a piano, seeing what I thought sounded nice together. I don't expect everybody to include sound as a part of their photographic process, but I sure as hell do. I know this is not at all a technical photographic process, but I think I have, if anything, made my case that it is a part of mine. Like I said before, it's the part of my process that gets asked about the most. So I made this video, this library of knowledge, so that other people may have access to it. Because I mean this in the nicest way possible. Can we stop asking the same kind of questions now? It gets really boring from a conversational standpoint.